from America's heartland, this is GJRB, Clinton, Iowa.
Now, true news that is not in the mainstream.
And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gary J. Russin on GJRB Online on Spreaker. Once again, didn't have my microphone open, so it is now 2 o'clock East, 2 o'clock Central Time, 3 o'clock East, 12 noon Pacific. And I'm Gary J. Russin at the GJRB News Desk. And an Egyptian student has been deported after threatening Trump. That's our lead story this hour. Egyptian is facing deportation from the United States after being investigated for federal agents by posting on a Facebook page that he was willing to kill Donald Trump and a world would thank him. While U.S. prosecutors are not charging the 23-year-old, the crime immigration authorities arrested him last month at Los Angeles area airport flight school and attended in a row for trying to deport him. According to an authority there, his attorney, according to an attorney, El Sayan, who is being held in jail at Orange County, is devastated at seeing his dreams of becoming a pilot being dashed over his threat. He said, quote, "It seems like the government is not able to get the criminal charges to stick on him, so they use the immigration process to have him leave the country. The rhetoric is particularly high in an election year, and I just feel I was caught up in the middle." Meanwhile, North Korea's defense after sanctions of a nuclear threat, according to Kim Jong-un, he ordered the country's nuclear weapons to be poised and ready at a moment's notice. Kim said that his country will be ready in its military, so prepared to carry out a preemptive attack, calling the current situation very precarious, according to the Korean Central News Agency. The threats in the statement are part of an authoritarian nation's regular propaganda efforts to show strength in its face as to what he sees as an effort by its enemies, South Korea and the United States, to overthrow its leaders. It follows the harsh UN sanctions over the North's recent nuclear test and long-range rocket launch, which comes ahead of joint U.S.-South Korea war games this month that the North claims are invasion preparations. North Korea has threatened the nuclear war in the past, but unclear just how advanced this country's nuclear program really is. And still mysterious booms are a mystery in Missouri. I'm Gary J. Russin. News you don't get anywhere else. This is GJRB Online True News on the Hour. Unexplained loud booms have been affecting residents around Grundy County for the past few weeks in Missouri. And it's weird because it's unlike most booming sounds you hear, according to Glenn Briggs, of the Emergency Management Director of Grundy County. So if you hear a car crash or something like this, then you can pretty well tell which direction it came from. He said, when I heard it, I couldn't identify which direction it came from, and it resembled that of thunder, and there is no thunderstorms in the area. Trenton residents are beginning to reporting the experience of their booms after they heard it for the first time February 14th. According to Briggs, quote, "I instantly made a post on our emergency management Facebook page and asked if anyone else heard it." So we had close to 100 people commenting, saying they heard it. Several people said they felt it and described the loud thud rattling, and of course even some flashes, light, and even smoke. More news coming up at the bottom of the hour. I'm Gary with another update, and again at the top of 3. I'm Gary J. Russin, GJRB Online News on the Hour. Next news at the bottom of the hour. His plays recovered, informed. Everyone, hello everywhere across America and around the world. Welcome to Way Out There. Yeah, this is the show that talks about the strange, the bizarre, the unusual, the things that sometimes we just can't explain. And on this show, I have a great show. We're going to take over and we're going to look at some of the stuff we haven't done in the last show back on February 19th. And on that show, we talk about a discovery and an interview from Moulton, Howe, which was a discovery of a ninth planet. And Professor Michael Brown. Now, if you remember very, very well, I think it was about 10 years ago, I think. I'm not really sure, because it might have been 10 years ago, when the planet was discovered. They had, well, first of all, there was Pluto. Remember Pluto? Yeah, it was demoted. Yeah, you remember that, don't you? Pluto was demoted to a, what was that? Nothing planet, rogue planet, whatever you want to call it. And he demoted the planet because, I don't know why. And then they promoted, now they are promoting this planet as the new ninth planet. So my question is this, folks. What's the difference between that and what we were taught as kids? You know, being Pluto was the ninth planet. Right? And why couldn't it be, let's say, 10 planets and have both planets? You know, just an additional planet. But, you know, like I said before, I don't know, I guess the solar system comprises of 9 planets? I always thought it was like, sometimes it could make it more than one planet. Then again, I don't know that much about science, but apparently, I guess, I don't know. You know, you have to wonder about that because with the ninth, you know, I don't know, what do we learn in school about 9 planets? Or the ninth planet, or whatever, you know. You know, ninth planet, whatever the case, I really think that's kind of ridiculous if you want to put it at the ninth planet, but there you go, that's what we've got. And we'll talk about that coming up. And also on our show, something we didn't cover on our last show, there's a article there, was posted to me a while back, or I saw a post on Facebook about remember Captain Kirk, you know, the original Captain Kirk, you know, William Shatner. Apparently he wants to play Captain Kirk again. Wants that part. Wants to have that part again. And they're making a movie, apparently. They're making a TV series again. They're going to reprise Star Trek. They're reprising every other show. Why not? Reprising Star Trek. And they want to go and pick up where the 1966 series ends up. They're going to pick up where the 1966 series left off. They want to finish up the mission. And they're going to do that. They're going to finish up the mission. They want to do that. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And I'm going to do strange but true. I like that part. Strange. And that's a really good story on there. I think it is. It's an interesting story in that it talks about these astronauts who were on the other, I believe they were Apollo 10, and they were on the other side of the moon, out of radio contact with Earth. They're just on the other side. They were out of range. When the astronauts picked up what sounded like strange space music coming from their radio, the ship's radio, unexplained space music coming out of their ship's radio. Now, you have to wonder about that, right? Where did that come from? You know, where was this unusual, strange music coming from? And we're going to talk about that. We're going to have a story on that. Also, another visit to Linda Moulton Howe's Earth Files. Got that coming up, but backtracking, another couple of stories that are interesting, including more mysterious sounds and booms, some in Oregon and that. We're going to talk about that a little bit. There were some mysterious booms. I was talking about that in that newscast. Unusual booms, and they don't know where it's coming from. They have no clue whatsoever. And you have to wonder about that one. You know, where's these? Another one? Strange noises coming from somewhere. The booms. And there was one in Oregon I reported on a previous broadcast. You remember that one? It was a loud squeaking noise. They don't know where that was coming from, but they're saying it could be either a gas leak or something or other, and or some kind of methane release or something. Anyway, I've talked about that. That was kind of weird, but there are a few other really interesting stories we're going to cover on Strange But True that I know you're going to really want to check into. And I have a few other really neat stuff coming up. So hope you're enjoying the show. Got a lot of really fun stuff coming your way here on Way Out There, here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker, across America and around the world, wherever you may be, and if you're just in the neighborhood, listening on FM at 87.7. Welcome. We got a lot of good stuff coming over here. Let's see what's going on. Like I said, some more, including, another interesting story about a mummified body of a man. He was preserved. It was on a ship. He was. They found the ship. It was sailing endlessly, middle of the ocean, and this man was dead. They found him dead, but he was dead for like, geez, I don't know how many years. And his body was preserved, didn't decompose. And he found it by his radio. So it looked like he was desperately trying to get a hold of his contact to get help. But then he had some kind of they're going to find out. They believe he had a heart attack or something, and at the time he just died there. Weird story. We'll talk about that. And let's see what other ones I got coming up. Well, yeah, we got that mystery and 5 mythical creatures they say might be real. Coming up a long way too. So it's going to be a great show today. Hope you'll stay with me. Way out there on GJRB Online. And along with that, like I said before, Linda Moulton Howe's Earth Files. We're going to visit that as well. And a story about a crash last 7 years, about 7 years before the 1947 crash in Roswell. Crash happened in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Gee, I wonder if Rush Limbaugh is one. Never mind. Just kidding. Aliens found dead, and they couldn't breathe our atmosphere. Anyhow, strange story behind that one. In that, is it another government alien cover-up? Talk about that. And with that, your phone calls and chat rooms or visits are available. You're welcome today. I have to go get my cell phone. I think it's in my coat pocket. I'll get that here in the next break. In around there. And you can get in on the program, 563-613-4260, or on Skype at Gary.Russin. Also, I'll have that open here in a little while. And also my chat rooms will be open as well, too. Just click that balloon icon on the GJRB Spreaker widget, and you can be part of the show and get a chance to talk with me about these strange things. And if you've heard strange sounds, if you're in that part of the world, we'd love to hear from you on it. And a whole lot more. So keep it here on GJRB Online on Spreaker. Gary J. Russin on Way Out There. The strange, the bizarre, the unusual. I have news written here on my written here to do, but since I did a 2 o'clock newscast, I'm going to kind of briefly go through those, and then will be available on my 3 o'clock newscast. So I just change things around once in a while. I do that just to see if I can just find my niche and be able to put it on my program log. So I kind of play around. Of course, again, Freestyle Friday. That means anything goes and can go, and anything can happen on live radio. So, you know, that being said, I'm also going to talk about another thing. I was prepping yesterday. There's a new movie coming out. I think it's going to be released, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they released movies on a Sunday, but I guess they can. This movie apparently is going to be released on March 13th, and it's called Amerigeddon. This movie plots a scenario in which we get hit by enemy government. We get hit by EMP. You know, those, you know, the EMP, which, you know, I guess they send up a nuclear missile or something, blows up in space or something like that, completely obliterates our electrical grid, and they install martial law, the whole works. And it looks like a really good movie. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about that. It looks like it might be something I might want to go see, although it could give me nightmares. But, you know, it's just that scenario. Might go see it. It looks pretty good. It's called Amerigeddon. You know, Armageddon with... instead of Arma, they kind of, you know how they do with words, split them. They're calling this the end of America kind of thing. It's a real good movie. Looks like it kind of reminds me of the TV series that was on about a few years ago called Revolution. I used to always watch it, about when the power grid getting knocked out. But in that movie, an enemy does it differently. They use a computer to fry the... they do something to fry the electrical grid and destroy everything. So it looks like it would be a really awesome, interesting movie to go see. So check that out. Anyway, Revolution. I plan on looking for that in my Roku box and watch that series again from the beginning, because it's a very, very good series. It was only on for like 3 years, something like that. Could be, I don't know. I think it was like 2 or 3 years. Yeah, like about 2 to 4 seasons on it, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. I'm looking at it as a possibility. Could have had maybe it probably ran for 4 seasons. On NBC. It was a NBC series, and it was a good series. I guess they figured they couldn't really do too much with it, so they kind of took it off the air. But it was a good show, and it lasted quite a long time. So I don't know. I kind of wonder why they took it off. It was a good show. They did do a last episode, and I think that, like I said before, I'd have to watch it again from the very beginning. And I'm going to look in my on my Roku, either on my Netflix, and see if it's on there, because it's a good show. So you might check that out, and a whole lot more. And sorry about that rerun of the last 7 days. The reason I had to do that again was because week I was going to go, and then our pastor who runs that had a special class they were going to, him and my friend Brian. So I had there was no meeting, so I had to just grab at the last minute a older episode. So I thought, well, why don't I just play the one I have, and do that. So, why not? Okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a break and be right back. I got more stuff to talk about here on Way Out There, here on GJRB Online on Spreaker. So stay with me. Got a lot more going on as we continue on a Friday afternoon. Way Out There on GJRB. Watch. Pray. For we not know what hour the Son of God will return. Prophecy, world order, terrorism, economic collapse, wars, pandemics, Israel. When they say peace, then cometh sudden destruction. Volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, signs in the heavens. Keep up with world news and events you hear on GJRB's News on the Hour. Go to End Time Headlines at www.endtimeheadlines.org. There's a lot of chaos happening. Keep in touch with End Time Headlines and GJRB. Time of year once again. Spring. A time when the weather gets warm and the flowers bloom. Man, GJRB is starting programs and bring back one that haven't for a while. GJRB Spring Spectacular. All new programs and open returning video. Gary J's radio and television classics under a new name. Radio, television, and movie classics on television broadcast rarities plus emissions from private movie theater and indoor theaters to old movie trailers and movie trivia. The Spring Spectacular will also return to Blues with Gary J's House and Country Bluegrass with Bluegrass Jubilee. Issues of the Gary Russell program, including Man the Street, as I take my voice recorder to the streets of Clinton and ask people their opinions on what's going on in the news and lighter fun stuff. GJRB Spring Spectacular starts April 19th on GJRB Online. Seems today no broadcast can survive with just audio alone. GJRB on Spreaker will always be there, but now GJRB has gone visual with the GJRB YouTube channel. Subscribe today and see live streaming of the Gary Russell program, Way Out There, sports page, and radio and television classics. Also, many other specials along the way too, including a video version of News and Comment and a video message from Pastor Ron Johnson from Christian Community Fellowship Church. Yes, GJRB is now visual. Subscribe to the GJRB YouTube channel. It's free. Just log on to YouTube and type in Gary Russell in the search engine. Coming soon. Watch or listen to GJRB on the new GJRB website. GJRB TV on YouTube, on your computer, on your TV. Subscribe today. All right, we're back. Way Out There on GJRB here on Spreaker. And I'm Gary J. Russell. Hope you're enjoying the program. Across America, wherever you may be, here's our strange show called Way Out There. Yeah. This is where it happens, folks. And the interesting stuff we talk about, isn't it, though? Coming up, we got some more good stuff, so stay with me here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker across America, and we'll talk about anything you want to talk about. We'll leave the lines open. I'm going to have my, I'm going to go, I think I left my cell phone because I was carrying it with me when I took my dog out earlier, and I think I left it in my coat pocket, so I'll have to go get it, but I do that from time to time, and when I need it, it's not there, so I have to go grab it and bring it in here. So I will do that, and we'll do that. So let's for now, though, I'm going to see what we got here. We're going to go into, take a look at what we got in the weather. See what's going on. Weather on the fives, folks. Yeah, well, I like doing weather on the fives. That's where we give you the weather and give you a straight look at what's happening in the weather. Actually, I could do this offhand, but we're getting a warming trend here in Iowa. Basically, it's been real interesting. We've had some really nice warm weather coming in. We're going to get it. We had snow, and then it got a little bit warmer, and we're expecting real nice weather coming up this weekend, where the temperatures are going to finally get up above. They're going to get like about 60 degrees. So we're looking at some real nice weather, and I can say it is about time. But here it is, folks. Real quickly, rain and snow will develop over parts of the northern plains today and move over parts of the upper Mississippi Valley, upper Great Lakes, and the middle Mississippi Valley by this evening. So the system will move into western U.S. and it's going to bring in some heavy rain and some flash flooding and some higher elevations. We'll have snow. So, gotta wonder, that weather is going to get weird. We'll be right back.
After 1 year, the wait is over. Now join Pastor Ron Johnston and a panel of men and women to discuss the news and how it lines up with Bible prophecy. How will we survive? God only knows. So trust us and listen to the last 7 days.
Uploaded as a podcast or live every third Friday at 12 o'clock noon Central on GJRB. We all run a busy schedule, and maybe we don't have time to catch the Gary Russa program. Well, here's the solution. The best of the Gary Russa program, highlighting the most memorable parts of recent shows. Each podcast I will play clips of previous shows and talk about them. Watch for podcast uploads during the GJRB's podcast weekend on GJRB's public site on Spreaker, reflecting on the past memories of past shows. The best of the Gary Russa program on GJRB.
That sound more like everyone else than anyone else. Clone.
Hey, all right, it's Kip Casper. Clone Radio.
Spreaker is the website which turns anyone into a radio DJ. Log on to Spreaker.com for listening to thousands of radio channels and start creating your own radio today.
The mainstream media is not telling you the truth. They have their own agenda. At GJRB, I have mine, telling you what's really going on with sources like End Time Headlines, InfoWars, Coast to Coast AM, and most importantly, CBN News, keeping you on top of what's happening at the top and bottom of each hour during the Gary Russa program. I'll give you the news and analysis of what I think with Gary J's News and Comment. Get the real news, true news, news that's not in the mainstream on GJRB. And you're listening to Way Out There on GJRB. We come back. We got more good stuff coming up on our program, so stay with me. We're going to talk about that ninth planet in the solar system. What is that ninth planet? They're saying it's weird. We're going to talk about it. And a whole lot more, so stay with me. Way Out There continues in just moments on GJRB.